The narrative that Mohamed Salah is one of the greatest wingers in Premier League history is a complete lie. He isn't just one of the greatest wingers. He has spent the last decade proving he is the most clinical.
Here's Salah with a chance.
The man is extraordinary.
Most consistent and most disrespected attacker to ever step foot on English soil. If you listen to the purists, Salah is a fluke, a pace merchant who got lucky in a specific system. They called him a Chelsea reject. They called him a one-season wonder for 4 seasons in a row. Even now, as he shatters records held by Thierry Henry and Didier Drogba, there is a segment of the football world that refuses to give him his crown. They say he's selfish, that he disappears in big moments, and that he's only a king because he plays in a league that favors speed over skill. But here's the truth that makes those critics' blood boil. Mohamed Salah didn't just join the Premier League, he broke it. He took a sleeping giant in Liverpool and single-handedly dragged them back to the summit of world football. He didn't just represent Africa, he became the most clinical, consistent, and cold-blooded attacker the continent has ever produced. Before Salah, Liverpool was a club living on grainy VHS tapes of the 80s. After Salah, they became the most feared team on the planet. This isn't just a career, it's a decade-long revenge tour against everyone who told a kid from a tiny village in the Nile Delta that he wasn't built for the elite level. To understand the pride of Africa, you have to understand the disrespect that fueled him. You have to look at the 10-hour bus rides, the freezing nights on a London bench, and the moment he decided that good was no longer enough. This is the real story of how Mohamed Salah conquered Europe, and why the world will never be able to ignore him again. The 10-hour sacrifice and the Swiss gamble. Nagrig is a town of farmers and jasmine traders, a place where dreams are usually grounded in the soil. But for a young Mohamed Salah, the soil was just a pitch. At 14, when most kids are worrying about school exams, Salah was embarking on a daily odyssey that would break most grown men. He was scouted by Mokawloon in Cairo, but Cairo was a world away. Every single day, 5 days a week, Salah would leave school at 9 a.m. with a special permit. He would then board a series of 5 different buses. 5. He would sit in the heat, clutching his bag, navigating the chaotic Egyptian traffic for 4.5 hours just to reach the training ground. He would train for 3 hours, then board those same 5 buses to go home. He wouldn't see his bed until midnight, only to wake up 5 hours later and do it again. He did this for 3 years. That 10-hour daily commute didn't just build his stamina, it built a psychological armor. When you've spent 1,500 hours a year on a dusty bus just for the chance to train, a 90-minute football match feels like a vacation. His break came in the midst of national tragedy. After the Port Said Stadium riot in 2012, Egyptian football stopped. Most players' careers were frozen in time, but FC Basel in Switzerland saw a spark. They organized a friendly against the Egypt U23 team specifically to see him. Salah didn't even start. He came on at halftime and scored twice. The Basel scouts didn't need a second half. They signed him on the spot. Switzerland was a frozen culture shock, but Salah treated the Europa League like his personal audition tape. When he tore Chelsea apart over 2 legs, scoring in London and Basel, he forced the hand of the special one. Jose Mourinho decided that if he couldn't stop Salah, he would simply buy him. The Chelsea graveyard and the Italian resurrection. The move to Chelsea in 2014 is often cited by critics as proof that Salah couldn't hack it at the top. It is the period his detractors love to highlight. The 13 appearances, the 2 goals, the long stretches of being invisible. In the high-pressure cooker of Mourinho's Chelsea, there was no room for development. You were either a finished product or you were a failure. Salah, a shy 21-year-old in a foreign land, was discarded like a faulty part. He was labeled too lightweight for the Premier League, a track star without a final ball. But what the English media called a flop, the Italian masters saw as a diamond in the rough. Shipped off on loan to Fiorentina and then Roma, Salah entered the most tactical league in the world. In Serie A, defenders don't give you space. You have to steal it. Under managers like Luciano Spalletti, Salah underwent a physiological and tactical transformation. He spent hours in the gym, turning his lean frame into a powerhouse that could shield the ball from the league's most cynical defenders. More importantly, he learned the geometry of the goal. He stopped just running fast and started running smart. Before we get to the moment he broke the Premier League, if you're enjoying this deep dive into the King's journey, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a story of football's greatest icons. By the time he finished his second season at Roma, he was a statistical anomaly, 15 goals and 11 assists. He was the most dangerous player in Italy, yet when Liverpool paid £34 million to bring him back to England in 2017, the reaction was mocking. Pundits asked why Jurgen Klopp was wasting money on a Chelsea reject. They didn't realize that the man returning to England wasn't the boy who left it. He was a veteran of the Italian tactical wars, and he was coming back to settle a score with the league that had rejected him. The season that broke the Matrix. What happened in the 2017 to 2018 season wasn't just a good run of form, it was a glitch in the Premier League matrix. From his very first game against Watford, Salah looked like a man playing a different sport. Alongside Sadio Mane and Roberto Firmino, he formed the Red Arrows, a front three that didn't just attack, they swarmed. But Salah was the tip of the spear. Every week, the one-season wonder narrative grew louder, and every week, Salah silenced it. He scored the Puskas winning curler against Everton. He danced through the entire Tottenham defense in stoppage time. He turned the best defenders in the world into statues. By the end of the 38-game season, he had 32 goals, breaking the record held by legends like Cristiano Ronaldo and Alan Shearer. He swept every individual award in the country. The Chelsea reject was now the PFA Player of the Year, but the season ended in the most controversial and heartbreaking way possible. In the Champions League final in Kyiv, Sergio Ramos engaged in what many call a judo move, dislocating Salah's shoulder and forcing him off in tears. Without their king, Liverpool fell. The world watched as Salah's World Cup dreams and European dreams seemed to evaporate in a single moment of cynicism. The critics emerged again, saying his peak had passed. They couldn't have been more wrong. Bringing the throne back to Anfield, if 2018 was about individual brilliance, the following years were about collective immortality. Salah didn't let the Ramos incident break him, he let it harden him. In 2019, Liverpool reached the Champions League final again. This time, there would be no tears. Within 2 minutes, Salah stood over a penalty in Madrid. The pressure was suffocating, millions watching, the weight of the 2018 heartbreak on his shoulders. He didn't blink, he smashed the ball home, leading Liverpool to their 6th European Cup. But the greatest status requires one thing above all else: the Premier League title. For 30 years, Liverpool fans had lived in the shadow of Manchester United and Manchester City. In 2020, Salah finally delivered the Holy Grail. He wasn't just a goal scorer, he was the emotional heartbeat of the team. He scored the iconic goal against United at Anfield, sprinting the length of the pitch, shedding his shirt and standing before the Kop as the undisputed King of England. Even as the years passed, Salah's output remained robotic. In the 2024-25 season, he produced a staggering 47 goal involvements, tying the all-time record for a single Premier League campaign. He became the first player to score 20-plus goals in 8 straight seasons. He moved past legends like Thierry Henry and Sergio Aguero on the all-time scoring charts. Every record that stood in his way was systematically dismantled. The icon beyond the pitch. To call Mohamed Salah just a footballer is to miss half the story. In his home country of Egypt, he is a living deity. He is the ministry of happiness. But his impact transcends borders and religions. In a time of global division, Salah became a bridge. A study by Stanford University found that since Salah's arrival at Liverpool, Islamophobic hate crimes in the Merseyside area dropped by nearly 20%. Fans who once held prejudices were now singing, "If he scores another few, then I'll be Muslim too." He didn't do this through political speeches. He did it through character. He celebrated his faith on the pitch, prostrating in prayer after every goal, making the sujud a globally recognized symbol of excellence. Off the pitch, his philanthropy is legendary. He has spent millions building schools, hospitals, and ambulance stations in Nagrig. He bought land for a sewage treatment plant to ensure his people had clean water. He doesn't just play for Liverpool, he carries the hopes, dreams, and dignity of an entire continent on his back every time he laces up his boots. The eternal legacy of the Egyptian king. As we stand in 2026, the debate over Salah's greatness should be over, yet it lingers. Why? Because he makes it look too easy. We have become desensitized to his brilliance. We expect him to score 30 goals a year. We expect him to be the fastest player on the pitch, even as a veteran. We treat his extraordinary consistency as if it's ordinary. But look at the names he has passed. He has climbed the mountain and planted the Egyptian flag at the very top. He isn't just the pride of Africa. He is one of the greatest human beings to ever play the sport. He took the one-season wonder tag and wore it for a decade, turning it into a badge of honor, while his critics slowly ran out of excuses. From the dusty buses of Garbia to the floodlights of Anfield, Mohamed Salah's journey is a middle finger to the impossible. He wasn't supposed to survive Chelsea. He wasn't supposed to break the scoring records. He wasn't supposed to bring the title back to Liverpool, but he did. And as he continues to add to his tally, one thing is certain: we will never see another like him. The king isn't just sitting on the throne, he built the throne himself. If you think Mo Salah is the greatest to ever do it in the Premier League, let me know in the comments below, and if you haven't already, subscribe for more stories on the players who changed the game forever. Thanks for watching.